The biggest drawback to a prenup is that parties to a prenup must specify all their assets they currently own as well as the property that they want to keep as separate during the marriage and thus retain ownership of in the event of a divorce. Practically speaking, though, this means that individual spouses may never use their separate personal accounts for marital expenses. Trust me, rigorously compartmentalizing your personal and marital assets has to be constantly maintained to be effective, and it gets old fast. A prenup must also be agreed upon and signed by both parties. And it's very difficult to discuss the subject of maintaining ownership of separate property with your future spouse. Just ask Ted in video 1 of the series. But Ted's not alone. 99% of soon-to-be married couples would prefer avoiding the discussion about divorce altogether. And they can, without sacrificing asset protection. Again, the secret is an irrevocable trust. When you place assets in an irrevocable trust, they're no longer held in your name. They never become part of the marital estate, so they're never at risk in the event of a divorce. But don't worry, you can still use, sell, or refinance assets in cash that is placed inside an irrevocable trust. The second major flaw of the prenup is this: asset protection from legal challenges in a divorce. Despite prenuptial agreements' popularity, even second-tier attorneys can successfully challenge them in a divorce proceeding. By contrast, it's virtually impossible to challenge the validity of a properly drafted, implemented, and funded irrevocable trust. There is nothing stronger. Now, history is littered with divorce cases in all 50 states between spouses who successfully challenged the validity of their prenuptial agreements despite initially agreeing to the terms. And we're not just talking about regular Joes here. In most of these cases, this involved multimillionaires who used very expensive attorneys to guide them. And in the end, no matter how expensive the attorneys were or the effort expelled could save their prenuptial agreements. Real-life specific examples are included in the article below these videos. But whether it is Galetta versus Galetta, who used a top New York law firm to create a prenup with defective wording of key portions of the document that held fatal to its validity, or in Happel versus Happel, where the wife challenged the prenuptial agreement on the grounds that she was not properly represented by an attorney when she signed it. Or you can look at Jurek versus Couch Jurek. And contrary to this couple's prenup, the wife's rental properties were determined to be community property. So a Texas court simply ignored the terms of the prenup that identified their properties as a separate property of the wife. But don't take our word for it. Below is a list of 25 case summaries with links to full cases that show how prenups and irrevocable trusts perform in divorce situations all across the country. Now, the third major flaw is the ability to protect assets from prying eyes. When you create and fund an irrevocable trust, you do so in private, and you never have to disclose what you own to your spouse-to-be. By contrast, many prenuptial agreements have been invalidated because of a failure to disclose every single asset, even in the event of an honest mistake, like in the California case of Frank P. Dido in 2008. Your assets are your legacy, and no relationship, however pure or good, is more important than that. Now you can finish reading the remaining 2 points in the article below. And please use the resources that we've provided to weigh the substantial benefits of an irrevocable trust. If you're serious about protecting what's rightfully yours, we're confident that you'll opt for a powerful trust over an easily overturned prenup. With 30 years of experience, we'd be happy to answer any and all questions on this most important matter, so call us. But if you're ready to protect your future with a personalized Ultra Trust now, visit myultratrust.com and get started personalizing your trust today and have it completed in as little as 7 days. Just open a free account to get started. You're not obligated to buy anything until the end. You'll see just how easy it is to avoid the prenup conversation and protect it all. Guaranteed.